Hey, what's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to another custom map scenario battle on Total War Warhammer. If you guys enjoy this, please do make sure to hit a like and a comment down below as it really helps out the channel. And it's been a little while since I've done any Warhammer. Obviously I was away all last week so I didn't have any chance to record it, but we are back with another scenario battle from the Discord chat. So again, if you guys want to be a part of these battles in the future, then make sure to go join the Discord as well, or even if you're just looking for people to play with, then that's a really good place to kind of just, talk Total War and then also, create these epic looking battles, which is an epic battle we have for today for sure. We have 7,000 Beastmen troops. They've mustered a pretty mighty Bray herd ready to descend upon the Bretonnian peasantry and knights who have mustered up on this hill, ready to hold them back on this cool custom map battle. We're also using the Steel Faith mods as well, which add in new units and rebalances, quite a few of them as well. So I'll make sure to leave a link to them all in the description down below. So yeah, let's get this battle underway. So we'll look at the map first. We can see that on either side of the battlefield we have two pretty large portions of forest, which are going to be great for the Beastmen to get up close and personal to the Bretonnian forces, because a lot of these missiles and these trebuchets, which we can see that the Bretonnian forces are using, won't be that effective because the Beastmen can kind of use their trees to their advantage and sneak up really closely. And then obviously we see another one over there. We also have a pretty strong valley right here as well, where with a nice little watchtower which looks kind of cool. And I think the Beastmen Vanguard deployed a lot of their forces, which are keeping the Bretonnians off guard a little bit. So then we'll look at the unit comps. We'll go and obviously stick up all the pictures of the unit armies on your screen right now. But as you can see, the main line of the Bretonnian forces are going to be made up of these men-at-arms polearms, who are going to be great at dealing with the minotaurs, but then might struggle on dealing with like the heavier infantry from the forces of the Beastmen in the bestigors. Then we also have some spear arms with shields. These guys are from Bordello. They are obviously being led by Alberic. Then we also have some of this archer force. I'm not even going to try and pronounce these guys. You guys can read it for yourselves. But this is obviously a Steel Faith unit. I like what they've done with the trousers and stuff. I think that's definitely very, very cool. Then as we continue to make our way down this left-hand side, we can see that we've got an entire line of battle pilgrims along with some foot squires as well. Then we continue to make our way back. We have some of these sergeants at arms. These guys look really cool. I like the way what they've done with their weapons. Like they've got like pretty large weapons like axes and maces and whatever this thing right here is. I don't know, just a spiky stick, but they've also got a nice amount of armor and stuff, and I think that looks really cool, giving Bretonnia in a little bit more heavy infantry to fight on the battlefield. When we go back, we have a whole line of these blessed field trebuchets, which are going to be destroying the Beastmen as they descend upon them. This is a real key part of the Bretonnian army, is to defend this right here. Then we have a few legendary lords. So I think there's a few rules that no one's allowed to repeat the same legendary lord, because this is a 4v4, but no one's allowed to bring the same legendary lord. If all the generals die on either side of the battlefield, that team automatically loses. I think there's one max cygor artillery per team, or per player, and then there's also, if a unit costs under or over 1,000, you can only get back to that unit twice to kind of limit the spam. So overall, a really, really cool setup. So we obviously have the Fate Enchantress. We also have some of the Grail Guardians. I'm not sure why the Grail Guardians are down to 6. I guess this is something to do with the Steel Faith mod, and they've like hugely buffed these guys. So even though there's 6 of them, they're going to be absolutely insane. So I can't wait to see that. Then we have some more Foot Squires and a lot more Cavalry of Questing Knights. We also have some of these Knights of the Realm, and then some for Grail Guardians are down to 26 in the unit. So they must be insane. We also have some Royal Hippogriff Knights, and obviously Alberic and the rest of the legendary lords for Bretonnia in a nice little formed up position. They also have a small infantry force out here. I'm not sure where these guys are going or why they're going. There was no description that these guys were like ordered to go forward, but I guess their plan is just to try and hit the Beastmen hard, as you can already see some engagements happening right there. So we'll quickly look at the Beastmen forces. We'll play on slow-mo whilst we do this. We can see that a large portion of their forces are just going to be made up of these kind of crappier Ungor herds, but then they're going to be supported with a Bray Shaman, and then they have some more of these Gore herds with shields, a little bit more of a meat part of the army. We also have some legendary lords, a giant back here. I'm trying to find some of the Steel Faith like units. We have some Bestigor herds back there and some Ungor spear herds. I'm trying to find like the newer units from the Steel Faith mod, because I haven't seen any of the Beastmen units or any units from the Steel Faith mod yet, so that's what I'm trying to look for. Gore herds of shields, they've always obviously been in the Beastmen roster. We have some Minotaurs back here, more Gore herds. Yeah, where are all the units for like the custom units with the Steel Faith mod? Because I know they do obviously have, they do kind of balance the game out a lot more. However, I was pretty sure they added in some more units. Oh, Bestigors with shields. Yeah, here we go. This is a custom unit right here. Just Bestigors, instead of having their two-handed weapon, they just have an axe and shield. So that's cool. And that's going to kind of make up a large portion of this side of the force. More Minotaurs. We also have some more of these Bestigor herds with shields right here. There's actually a small engagement already kicking off right here. Is this the Green Knight? It is not the Green Knight. Who is this? It's just a Royal Pegasus jumping down, trying to harass some of these Centaurs. So it's going to be the Beastmen army. I didn't really go through it super in depth, but you guys can pretty much see we've got a lot of Minotaurs, a lot of heavy and weaker infantry, just a lot of numbers basically. There's 7,000 of them, 4,000 Bretonnian forces. So we're probably definitely going to get some lag during this battle. There's 11,000 soldiers as we see King Leoncourt and the Green Knight fight hard against these guys. And this is a smart move, pushing in these Royal Pegasus Knights, which we can see just destroying the archer force right here. And pushing in Leoncourt is going to be great. Harassing the back lines and forcing the enemy to actually commit troops back here is going to be a really, really smart move. Now, it's risky because they definitely might end up losing a lot of units trying to do this. Obviously, you've got a lot of units pushing forward, and these guys, if they get segregated, are going to get cut down and slaughtered. However, if the forces of Bretonnia can just kind of slow up these forces, get them to commit soldiers elsewhere, then they can do a really good job. And I love the way we have that kind of Bretonnian bastion right there as these men-at-arms fall up. But then, oh my god, the Minotaurs come flying in here. Now, this isn't going to be too bad. They have some Grail Guardians right here who I do believe are anti-large. So they could inflict a lot of damage onto the... Yeah, they are anti-large. So they can inflict a lot of damage onto these Minotaurs and Gorbals and like kind of whittle them out early on, which would be a very, very smart move for them to do. They obviously also have a Damsel as well who's going to be casting Earthblood off onto the Grail Guardians as well, trying to boost them up as much as possible. We have the Soul Blight upgraded in, which is going to be reducing their stats pretty heavily, which is not going to be too good for them. However, I'm sure they're going to be doing an okay job, but they are just getting swarmed. But you can start to see a few of these Minotaurs actually going down as they continue to fight on. This is our first look at getting to see the men-at-arms fight. They do look very, very cool. However, they are not going to stand a chance. Just to the sheer amount of Minotaurs right now who are just tearing these guys apart, whipping away like 4 or 5 of them at a time. That is just sheer, like that's just brutal. Earthblood once again being popped on all these units. Very, very smart move here to clump these guys up. However, you know, the Minotaurs are going to continue just to whittle away at these dudes. But, I mean, as long as the Grail Guardians can hold alive, and now they're getting some support from the Hippogriffs, Knights, like, they're going to be doing an okay job here, and it's going to be slowing up a large portion of the forces. You can also see back here, we've got Leoncourt still fighting hard, harassing these Centaurs. So they're doing kind of very nice hit-and-run tactics back here with their superior flight. I think the Harpies are still... Yeah, they've got some Harpies, but besides these, they don't really have much else to really deal with this. And I think all this time as well, this artillery is reforming to shoot. So they really are just biding some time for them. Yeah, the Beastmen are trying to stay in the forest for as long as they can. But it's, you know, soon enough, this artillery is going to start opening up. If not, it is already. Is this artillery shooting? I don't think it is quite yet, but this one's going to be shooting very, very soon. So they're going to have to be very careful. If they start getting whittled away, and obviously the archer forces are now up here as well, harassing the front lines. Now it's going to be a bit hard. I don't know if these guys are going to be winning this engagement because obviously the Ungors aren't the best, but they are in the forest. So that's going to give them a huge defensive buff. A lot of these arrows aren't going to be finding their marks as they return fire. We go back to the main engagement over here. Oh my god. Look at that. You can barely even see what's going on. I think Earthblood is just being cast over and over and over again from the Bretonnian players, trying to make this battle last for as long as possible so they can form up the rest of their battle lines. Oh, what a view right here as we see a flock of doom coming down. The brave, brave knights of Bretonnia fighting hard along with the peasantry. I think they've done a great job here, if I'm honest. Like, if we look at the HP, we can see that the Minotaurs have lost quite a few. The Gorbals, this Giant's almost down. Like, this has been a decent engagement for Bretonnia, even though obviously they are still heavily outnumbered by, you know, almost, what, 2,500 soldiers. They're holding firm and they're inflicting casualties. They're also splitting up the forces of the Beastmen, which, if they can continue to do that, it's just going to really play into their hands. They do have to be very careful, though, not to lose Leoncoeur, who we can see. Is he going to go down? That is not good if Leoncoeur goes down. That's going to be a huge part of the Bretonnian forces already dying. But I think that could be the forces which are already pushed up. So losing that general isn't super important. But we do also have another general here, do we? I believe we do. Yeah, we also have another Bretonnian general. We have a Fey Enchantress here. Oh my god, if she goes down as well, that's going to be brutal. And I think she is. That's 2 Bretonnian generals going down. That is not good for them, considering they're this heavily outnumbered. They've got the Giant and the cygor along with the Bestigors. They're going to be chopping her to pieces. She needs to do something to get out of there, like get some cavalry to come reinforce her. Especially now the Harpies are swarming. Yeah, this is very smart from the Bretonnian players, just overwhelming the forces here, trying to rout them, so then they can move on. And I think the Beastmen players on this side are doing a very, very smart job. They're literally just falling back, waiting for this engagement to be over, and then they're going to assault altogether. Or am I wrong? Have they decided just to charge forward? It looks like that's exactly what they're going to be doing. The Bretonnian artillery is now unleashing hell. But blessed field trebuchet. Come on, give me a volley. Give me a volley. I swear that's the thing. In all Total Wars, whenever I want something to shoot, it just never does shoot. And I swear that plagues, like, there, oh no, they just moved, okay, whatever. I swear that's just the thing that plagues us Total War YouTubers. As we see the men-at-arms running in against the Ungor? The Goreherd, sorry. You also do have some artillery coming in the background. We have some cavalry trying to make their way around the side. I imagine to maybe try and harass this Brave Shaman, try and get him out of the engagement, which is pretty smart to have happen if they can do that. Cavalry is still holding and inflicting huge amounts of damage. This is not looking too bad, considering how little they committed. That is not looking too bad at all for the Bretonnian players. Especially now that they have a lot of this missile fire coming in. If they can just keep up with this missile fire, that is going to be really, really good for them. Because they can slowly whittle away the numbers. And they're holding back a lot of their elite units till the bitter end. And obviously we have all these flying creatures as well. I mean, look at the arrows just pour in. It is a constant barrage right now. And all they need is these cheap units to hold the line. And then they can just use these archers just to slowly whittle them away. We do have a cygor hit coming in. Thankfully, just about missing. We also do have some cavalry engagements down. This battle is sick right now. There is so much going on. That is really awesome. The battle is just fully stretched. And I'm so thankful to my Discord right now for sending this in to me. A huge thank you to everyone who played in this battle. And Geneku for obviously setting it up. Yo, this is sick right now. The sheer scale of the engagement. We have a vortex spell going on. Like, this is awesome. This is just sick. Cavalry coming in right now, going to be getting a sick charge off onto the other side of these beastmen with their spears and shields. However, these are just puny Ungor spear herds, which aren't going to really be doing too much. However, the Bestigors are now turning up to help fight the Knights of the Realm, which is going to be very, very good. We also have a Razorgore chariot. Is this Khazrak leading the charge? This could be, yeah, this is Khazrak leading the charge right now, and he's just going to be running through the archers back here, which is definitely, oh my god, he just tore through like half the unit. The flying hippogriffs are going to be chasing him down, trying to take him out. Let's go and do slow-mo just for a couple seconds, because I want to find out what's happening over here now. How is this engagement doing? I mean, it is finally falling, but the Green Knight is still here fighting hard. And if we just look at the HP bars right now as well, these Harpies are pretty much completely gone. The cavalry, actually, the Grail Guardians are still holding there. They must be really, really elite. And there's just so many casualties for the Beastmen in this section. They've lost so much HP on their gore balls, and they've also lost a ton of Minotaurs as well. So even though this was a costly engagement and these guys pretty much gave their lives to make this happen, I think it has been completely worth it in the grand scheme of things. The balance of power is still in the Beastmen side as well, as they still carry that 2,000 man advantage. I don't really know if they're men. I guess we're kind of 2,000 troop advantage, I should say. And a lot of these units are falling back now as they retreat from the engagement. So let's go back to this right-hand side, as we do actually see the spearmen right here pushing on to the Ungor raiders back here. That's not too bad at all, but they've managed to make their way through that. The archers are falling back. The artillery is working overtime right now as it comes in again. But getting back onto them Ungor raiders is great. Yeah, they've already managed to rout these guys. If they can swoop round, that's going to take a large portion of the Beastmen artillery out of the game, or missile force out of the game. Again, if we just continue to make our way down the battle line, we can see that the Bestigors with shields are going to be I should be cutting through these Bretonnian infantry fairly effectively. But I mean, the Bretonnian missile fire is just vastly superior right now. Do we have a vortex coming down here? I think we're going to have a vortex coming down right here. Or maybe even a Comet of Cassador. Yeah, it's a Comet of Cassador right now. Here we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I really hope they do buff the Comet of Cassador, because I always feel like it's a bit weak compared to the Foot of Gork. A lot of missile fire actually coming down on this Lord. However, he's not taking much damage, and the cavalry is just destroyed whatever that unit was. I think that was a unit of Chaos Warhounds, and now they're going to be able to go get themselves committed into this fight against the Minotaurs. The Questing Knights coming in. This is maybe not the best engagement for the Questing Knights, because I believe the Questing Knights are anti-infantry. However, I'm sure with the support of them Grail Guardians in the back, they're going to be doing okay as they just continue to surround this. You know, the Questing Knights would be better off just to carry on making their way forward and just hitting into this unit right there. That would be pretty good for them. The front line does look like it's starting to break, though, for the Bretonnian players. Wow, I thought the Bretonnian line was actually going to hold. But by the looks of it, it is not. So they're having to kind of fall back a lot. And obviously, they've got this entire Beastman army still making its way forward. They're going to have to obviously cast Earthblood, which is, Regrowth, sorry, which is obviously going to help them out a bit. They don't really have too much infantry. I think they need to commit like all this infantry elsewhere and just kind of try and deal with this right-hand side. Now, granted, they have a ton of this cavalry left right here, which they can definitely use to deadly effect. And if they kind of swarm the enemy generals as well, you know, kill Kazrak, or this is just a Beast Lord, sorry. They can kill the Beast Lord, and that's going to be awesome. And again, if they can just clean up this missile line, I don't know what way this battle's going to go. You know, it's still very even. The troop count is definitely kept very similar, though, during this engagement. You know, after that initial kind of hit from the Bretonnian forces, the Beastmen have definitely kind of stopped the bleeding. The Green Knight is going to be doing great against these Minotaurs. And obviously, we do have the Grail Guardians as well, who are going to be doing perfectly. And they are also getting the surround off as well as some of these Questing Knights. We zoom out and look at the other side now. Oh, the cygor is getting some huge hits off on these guys right here. Yes! Luckily, they are only the basic sergeants at arms. The forces are finally coming through the central plaza, and it looks like, yeah, the main army over here. Oh my god, what is still alive over here? We have the Green Knight who's still chilling, and we also have some Grail Guardians as well. God, these guys are, like, insane. Like, these guys are amazing. They've been cutting these Bestigors down for, like, since the beginning of the battle, almost like 10 minutes now. That is pretty insane. However, they are going to be descending upon them, and this is a really smart move. It's just to kind of completely overwhelm the forces. Use your magic to hit them hard. Stop all these missiles from going off. They're raising some Chaos Spawn as well. This Chaos Spawn is going to be a huge nuisance for the Bretonnian players, especially if they can kill the missiles. Kill the Bretonnian missiles, and they're going to kind of definitely feel that pain of not being able to, because, you know, their main point is to hold the enemy in place with their shitty infantry, and then use their missiles, and then use their cavalry to kind of hit them from the backs and whittle them down that way. However, if the missile force is down, that's going to look very, very risky for them. We do have one of the lords going in on his hippogriff. Hitting back at here. God, what is that matter? It's just a bloody unicorn right there. I thought it was like a cow or something she was riding. I guess not, though. So we do still have one unit of Grail Knights, and they do have full golden chevrons. So I think they are going to be able to finish off these Minotaurs, which is good news for them. However, they are going to be taking a bit of a hit whilst they do that. And this unit can definitely be used elsewhere as well. But I think deploying here, just killing these Minotaurs off quickly is going to be great. But as you can see, the forces of the Beastmen are really surrounding them. They still have an entire army left to make their way into the battle as well. I say entire army. They've obviously been fighting since the beginning of the game. But even still, we also have some artillery shots going off into the abyss right there. How are the infantry doing for the Bretonnians? Not too great by the looks of it. I don't know. I feel like I honestly don't know how this battle's going to go. It seems really, really close right now. It could literally go either way. It's just whether or not the cavalry for Bretonnia can really come up big. And if they can kill the enemy generals, if they can kill the Beastmen generals, then I think they'll win the day. But if the Beastmen generals stay alive, continue to pop their buffs, the Beastmen get some good vortex spells off, I think this is in their court right now. And I mean, to be fair, they did have a lot of troops to begin with. The polearm surrounding this cygor is really, really smart. Trying to take him out. You know, even if he is an artillery piece, he is still a pretty large monster. He can do plenty of damage. So surrounding him is great. And I also like how they're using their artillery. Like, nothing else is really in range for them. So they're trying to use their artillery to hit back here, you know, the oncoming forces over there. More regrowth, I imagine, being popped off, or Shield of the Fawn. However, we're going to have a Vortex spell. Oh, no, we have some Chaos Spawn risen directly up onto the... Oh, these archers are so dead. We also have a Beastman Giant as well, making his way forward. That is not too good at all. Yeah, they're going to chop them down. They really need to commit all of this cavalry or just surround this general. I would select everything I have here and just go after the Beast Lord. And I think that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Charging him down, surrounding him. That should be doing loads of damage to his HP. Not a huge amount, but if he tries to retreat, I imagine that's going to hurt him out. And the Beastmen might even be just sacrificing this general to allow their archers just to pin him down. But, I mean, he is going down quickly. Look at that HP bar. Oh, yeah, he's just going to rout from the field of battle, and that's going to be it. That's going to be it for that Beastman force. Not that they have a lot of soldiers left, but that's going to, you know, maybe a few units that wouldn't have routed will rout now. That's a bit risky. We do have some cygors coming into the back, or not cygors, centigors, sorry, coming into the back. So that's a good charge, but losing your general, that's dangerous right there, especially when you're playing with Beastmen. That's extremely dangerous. There you go, the Beastman general is dead. I can't see any units routing immediately, but a lot of these smaller units, which might have stayed around, could just rout now. Let's see how we're looking on this left side. How are we looking? I mean, they're holding. Kind of, maybe not. I was going to say they're holding, but then you see all three of these units routing. So there's definitely hope now. If they can kill a few more generals, then maybe they can win the day. They do obviously still have some pretty... They have a full strength unit of Grail Guardians, who, as you guys can see, just kill absolutely anything in their way. But this unit of men-at-arms are going to be getting surrounded very, very soon. We have lots of Beastmen over there. There are still some sergeants at arms right there, so that's not too bad. The Grail Guardians are abandoning these peasantry as well. They are falling back, I guess, looking elsewhere. As you just see more Beastmen completely surrounding. The scale of this battle has been absolutely awesome. Really, really cool. Oh, the Minotaur. The archers are still shooting, trying to whittle away as much HP damage as they can. There's some spearmen right here, which could be used to push forward. We got another vortex spell coming off right here. What even is that on? That's just on a unit of archers. We're pretty much out of them. Oh no, it's just raising some more. That spell is so OP. We've seen, what, 4 units of Chaos Spawn being risen this battle. That is really, really OP. We have the Grail Guardians fighting up against the Centigors and some Ungor Raiders. We also have this Damsel as well, fighting on top of a Unicorn. And we also have some Lords as well. Is that Albrecht right there? I think, yeah, this is Albrecht, is it not? Or is this just a Lord? Oh, this is sorry, just a Royal Hippogriff Knight. My mistake. Still doing plenty of damage, though. I think the Beastmen have this battle. Again, it's so close. I really don't know. Like, that's the thing about these battles which get sent in from my Discord. They just kind of keep on playing them until they get a really, really good result. So if a battle is too one-sided, they'll replay it. So that's why you kind of always know that this will, you know, these battles which I get from the Discord will always be really, really good because they put in a lot of time, and I do really appreciate it. But I just don't see how Bretonnia can win this battle. Like, maybe if they kill all the enemy lords, because that's obviously one of the rules. If all the lords on one side or the other die, the battle is over, and the side with lords left still win. But I mean, they still have they do still have Albrecht at full health, which is good. Maybe they can, but they still have, you know, the Beastmen still have their generals at pretty healthy amounts of HP. So I just don't see how that Bretonnia can win this battle. But the balance of power still definitely does suggest that they can. I guess if they can use a lot of these archers, maybe to whittle down the men and then cause a mass rout, because a lot of these units are getting kind of low. Yeah, a lot of this missile fire is coming in and finding their mark. The enemy general, like, I just don't see the enemy generals dying, so I don't know how else the Bretonnian forces can win. But even if they don't win, they will make a famous last stand, as we do have one of the lords from Bretonnia actually routing from the field of battle. Now, he does obviously have time to come back as well, as these Grail Guardians do fall back a little bit. Maybe getting a rear charge off on these Minotaurs will just wipe them out. There's still 5 of them left, but this is going to kill them surely on the charge. No, not even killing one. It doesn't mean Minotaur's just running along with them. I really thought that Minotaur was just going to die because they are so low on HP. I think I could push them over and they would die. This Chaos Spawner going back and forth, glitching out. But yeah, we just have a few kind of pockets of resistance right now. We do still have the Green Knight as well. And I'm not sure if the Green Knight can actually be killed or not. I mean, obviously he can't be killed. But I mean, what I mean is, I'm not sure if he can rout from the field of battle or not. As he continues to fight off with the support of some Grail Guardians as well against the Legendary Lords. I mean, he's inflicting a lot of damage, but there's just too much left. The missile fire still shooting. This left flank has completely crumbled now, allowing the Beastmen to continue to push up. Yeah, the men-at-arms are going to be routing, fleeing for their lives. The artillery crew has been gone and killed now, and they're going to be getting chased down. Like, these guys are going to rout almost instantly as soon as they get charged in the back. They are just lowly peasants with siege hammers right now. And the Beastmen are just giving them time to run. Oh, what nice Beastmen. I imagine we're going to see the Lords dying very, very soon, and that's just going to cause a mass rout throughout this force. Yeah, you can see they're all dying, and that's going to be it for the battle. They did concede defeat, I think, the Bretonnian forces, and that caused the end of the engagement. So the Beastmen were victorious, unfortunately. However, Bretonnia put up a beautiful stand. That initial last stand was just amazing. So let's run through the kills in this battle. This first Bretonnian force, which was pretty much just heavy cavalry, did really, really good. 100 kills on a lot of these guys. The Damsel as well, doing amazing. This kind of more Bretonnian force, you can see that the sergeants at arms doing great, and more of a field trebuchet or best. Field trebuchet doing very, very nice. All the battle pilgrims 152. These guys all doing decently as well, and obviously the Grail Guardians with 232 kills, very, very nice. The foot squires and the paladins, and again the blessed field trebuchet just doing so well. Look at the Beastmen's forces, we can see that they definitely use their numbers to their advantage, and seeing some gore herds with 123 kills is always nice. Unfortunately, these gore balls didn't get stuck in that well, but the artillery definitely doing well. We can see obviously here the Brave Shaman doing the best in this roster, and the Minotaurs doing very nice. And then finally we can see that the bested Gores doing a pretty nice damage, and 69 kills is definitely very, very good. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. Please do make sure to drop a like and a comment on the video if you did enjoy it and you want to see more battles like this. I'm sure that if you want to jump onto the Discord channel as well, the link will be in the description. You should come over and actually be a part of these battles. Maybe you have some ideas as well to create some battles, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.